Have you ever asked yourself, are all nuts really as healthy as we think? We hear it everywhere. Eat nuts for your heart, your brain, your energy. But what if I told you that some of the very nuts you snack on daily could quietly be working against your health goals? This isn't about demonizing all nuts. It's about waking up to a truth that marketing has kept buried. Not every nut belongs in your diet. Let's start with this. Inflammation is the root of nearly every chronic condition. Joint pain, fatigue, heart problems, even that stubborn belly fat you can't seem to lose. Certain nuts are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, which in small amounts are fine, but in the amounts we eat today, they're like pouring gasoline on a low flame. Over time, this imbalance pushes your body into a constant state of silent inflammation. Imagine your cells trying to repair while being bombarded every single day by the same handful of nuts you thought were helping you. Then comes digestion. Many people don't realize that some nuts are high in anti-nutrients, compounds like phytic acid that bind minerals, preventing your body from absorbing zinc, iron, or calcium effectively. You eat them thinking you're fueling your body, but your cells are actually starving for key nutrients. And your gut, it reacts with bloating, gas, or discomfort, and you're left wondering what went wrong. There's also the illusion of portion control. Nuts are calorie-dense, and when you mix the wrong kinds with your daily habits, it's a recipe for slow but steady weight gain. A handful here, another there, it adds up. Your liver stores the excess, your insulin spikes, and suddenly your metabolism isn't your friend anymore. So which nuts should you step away from if you want a sharper brain and a healthier heart? Stay cautious with the highly processed, salted, roasted varieties, especially those rich in omega-6 oils. It's not just the nut, it's the oil they're coated in, the heat they're exposed to, the salt they carry. These aren't the natural, nutrient-packed foods our ancestors ate. They're engineered snacks designed for shelf life, not your life. Your body deserves better. It craves balance, nuts rich in omega-3s instead of omega-6s, unprocessed instead of roasted in industrial oils, natural instead of flavored to keep you addicted. Think about how you feel after eating certain snacks. Sluggish or energized? Clear-headed or foggy? That's your body whispering the truth. The next time you reach for that mixed bag, ask yourself, is this helping me heal or quietly harming me? The difference between feeling older than your years and regaining your vitality can be as simple as changing what's in your hand. Step away from the harmful ones, choose the right ones, and watch how your energy, mood, and even your skin respond. Have you ever paused for a moment and truly questioned the health advice that surrounds you? We're told almost endlessly that nuts are a perfect food, packed with protein, good fats, and essential nutrients. But is that really the full picture? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Some nuts that sit in your kitchen right now might not be the little health miracles you think they are. In fact, they could be the very reason you're struggling with nagging health issues, energy crashes, or that weight that refuses to come off, no matter how disciplined you are. Consider this. Every food you eat either contributes to healing or it adds to the damage your body is trying so hard to repair. Certain nuts, despite their reputation, lean toward the second category. They look innocent enough, small, crunchy, satisfying, but inside they can carry a hidden imbalance that fuels inflammation, disrupts your hormones, and quietly sabotages your health goals over time. The problem isn't always that one handful. It's the daily habit, the repeated exposure, the constant inflow of substances your cells must fight against. Why does this matter so much? Because your body is already working overtime to cope with stress, environmental toxins, poor sleep, and processed foods. When you add in nuts that are high in damaging oils or compounds that irritate your gut lining, you're not giving your body a break. You're adding one more burden to an already heavy load. And what's worse is the belief that you're doing something healthy. You think you're nourishing your heart and brain, but your body is busy fighting inflammation triggered by what's supposed to be a health food. It's time to stop letting marketing labels and supermarket trends decide your health. Ask yourself, how many of these nuts are truly natural, the way nature intended, and how many are processed, salted, roasted in industrial seed oils, and packaged to last for months on a shelf? That's where the danger often hides. not in the nut itself, but in the way it's been treated, altered, and presented as a miracle snack. Once you see this clearly, you begin to understand why certain nuts belong on your plate and why others deserve a break from your diet. The choice isn't about fear, it's about awareness. It's about protecting your heart, your brain, and your energy from the slow, creeping damage of the wrong choices disguised as healthy habits. How often do we stop and think about inflammation, the silent trigger behind so many of today's health problems? Joint stiffness, brain fog, fatigue that lingers no matter how much you rest. These are not random events. They are signals, and some of the nuts you may be eating daily are quietly feeding that flame. It's not because nuts are bad in their natural form, but because certain types are packed with omega-6 fatty acids in levels your body was never designed to handle in such constant, concentrated amounts. Your body needs balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fats. In nature, this balance was easy to maintain, but modern diets tip the scale drastically toward omega-6, especially when roasted, salted, and processed nuts become your everyday snack. Each bite adds a drop of oil to an already burning fire of inflammation. Over time, this constant inflow disrupts your cells' ability to heal and regenerate. Imagine your joints trying to recover after a long day, your blood vessels striving to stay flexible, your brain fighting to stay clear and sharp, all while being bathed in inflammatory compounds from what you thought was a healthy choice. It's not just about visible swelling or pain. Chronic inflammation is stealthy. It works quietly in the background, influencing your hormones, slowing your metabolism, even pushing your heart and liver into overdrive. And because it doesn't scream immediately, you keep reaching for that snack day after day, believing it's supporting your health, when in truth it's adding friction to your entire system. Think about how often this happens, not once in a while, but as a habit. That handful with your morning coffee, that trail mix at your desk, the roasted nuts in the evening, they stack up. And with every extra dose of omega-6, your body becomes less equipped to fight off disease, less able to burn fat effectively, less resilient overall. The very fuel meant to energize you is quietly slowing you down, one bite at a time. Have you ever noticed how something as small as a handful of nuts can leave you feeling heavy, bloated, or unsettled in your stomach? This isn't just about calories or fat. It's about how certain nuts interact with your digestive system. Many of them contain compounds known as anti-nutrients, like phytic acid, which bind to essential minerals such as zinc, iron, and calcium. Instead of these nutrients being absorbed and used by your body, they pass through unutilized, leaving your cells hungry for what you thought you had given them. Your gut is a delicate environment. Trillions of microbes, enzymes, and tissues working together like a symphony. But when you introduce nuts that are hard to break down or coated in substances that irritate your gut lining, you disrupt that balance. The result? Gas, bloating, discomfort, or even that sluggish, tired feeling after what should have been a small snack. Over time, this irritation isn't just uncomfortable. It can contribute to leaky gut, nutrient deficiencies, and a weakened immune response. Think about what happens when your digestion struggles day after day. Your energy drops because your body is expending more effort to break down what should have been simple. Your skin might reflect that imbalance through breakouts or dullness. Your mood shifts because your gut health directly influences your brain chemistry. And the sad part is, you may still believe you're eating clean, making a healthy choice, when in reality, you're creating a silent battle in your own stomach. The danger isn't always in the quantity. It's often in the type of nut and how it's processed. Roasted at high heat, salted, flavored, or stored for long periods in a way that increases their irritant potential. The more often you consume these, the more you ask your digestive system to fight uphill. And slowly, without realizing, you start to associate that discomfort with something else. Stress, tiredness, even age, when in fact, it's what's on your plate. Have you ever wondered why, despite eating what you think is a nutrient-rich diet, you still feel fatigued or notice slow recovery after workouts or illness? One hidden reason lies in the way certain nuts can throw your body's nutrient balance off track. Nuts are often praised for their mineral content: magnesium, phosphorus, selenium. But the story is more complicated. Some are loaded with compounds that bind to these very minerals, preventing them from being absorbed where they're needed most. You eat them with the intention of fueling your body, yet they quietly block the doors your cells rely on to let those nutrients in. This imbalance doesn't show up overnight. It's a slow, creeping process. Your bones may start to lose density over time because calcium isn't being absorbed efficiently. Your immune system may falter because zinc is being tied up. Your energy might dip because iron remains locked away instead of building healthy red blood cells. It's like putting premium fuel in your tank but clogging the filter. It looks like you're doing the right thing, yet the engine struggles to run. What makes this worse is our modern habit of overconsumption. Nuts, especially the processed and salted ones, are easy to overeat. They're marketed as healthy fats, so you think a few more won't hurt. But with every extra handful, you're increasing the load of these anti-nutrients while throwing off your balance of essential minerals. Your body starts to crave more food, not because it needs calories, but because it's starving for what isn't being absorbed. And let's not forget the other side of the coin. When certain nuts flood your system with too much of one mineral, it can push others out of balance. High levels of certain compounds may displace copper, selenium, or even interfere with thyroid function over time. So what feels like a smart snack can quietly tilt your inner chemistry in the wrong direction, leaving you wondering why you're tired, sluggish, or not seeing the benefits you expected. Have you ever stopped to think how the very snacks you believe are protecting your heart and sharpening your mind might actually be doing the opposite? We've been told that nuts are heart-healthy and brain-boosting, and while some truly are, others can quietly chip away at that promise. The heart and brain are both extremely sensitive to the fats you consume. When the balance tilts heavily toward omega-6 fatty acids, the kind found in certain nuts, especially when roasted in industrial oils, it sets off a chain reaction. Inflammation begins to damage the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them less flexible, less resilient. Over time, this can set the stage for plaque buildup and sluggish circulation. Your brain, on the other hand, thrives on stability, steady blood flow, clean fats, and minimal oxidative stress. But when you load your diet with the wrong kinds of nuts, you risk feeding that brain fog you keep blaming on lack of sleep or age. These fats can oxidize easily, producing free radicals that interfere with your brain's communication pathways. You may feel less focused, more forgetful, or even more irritable, without realizing that the very snack you reach for to fuel your brain is clouding it instead. The story doesn't end there. Salted, flavored, or sweetened nuts add another layer of risk. Extra sodium raises blood pressure, flavored coatings introduce chemicals your heart doesn't need, and added sugars feed the very inflammation that harms your arteries. The brain, being mostly fat, is particularly vulnerable to these imbalances. Instead of enhancing memory and clarity, these snacks can subtly drain your mental sharpness over time. The good news is, your heart and brain respond quickly when you choose the right sources of fat, nuts that are raw, rich in omega-3s, and free of industrial oils. When you replace the harmful ones with smarter choices, blood flow improves, your thinking clears, and your energy becomes steadier. It's not about giving up all nuts. It's about knowing which ones serve your body and which ones silently work against it. Have you ever considered that the smallest shift in your daily choices could completely change how your body feels in the long run? When it comes to nuts, the answer isn't to swear them off forever. It's to become selective, deliberate, and aware of which ones truly serve your health. Your body doesn't just need calories, it craves balance. It thrives when you give it clean, unprocessed fats, the kind that calm inflammation instead of fueling it, and nutrients that can actually be absorbed instead of locked away by anti-nutrients or chemical coatings. Think of it like tuning a finely crafted instrument. The wrong strings create noise, the right ones create harmony. Choosing nuts that are raw, organic when possible, and high in omega-3s can help support your heart, your brain, and your digestion without overloading your system. Walnuts in their natural state, for example, or small portions of almonds soaked overnight to reduce their anti-nutrient content. These are choices that bring your body back into rhythm rather than pulling it off key. What you avoid matters just as much. Staying away from nuts that are roasted in industrial seed oils, heavily salted, or sugar-coated isn't about restriction. It's about protection. Every small decision builds up over time. Just as the wrong habits slowly damage your energy, the right ones gradually rebuild it. This is how you create a long-term sustainable foundation for health. Not through sudden extremes, but through daily intentional steps. Your future self, clearer mind, lighter body, calmer digestion, starts with what's in your hand today. Each snack, each handful is a choice to continue in the cycle of inflammation and imbalance, or to break it and move toward vitality. The power has always been yours. It's not about eating more, it's about eating wisely.